Hey Rudy, what's going on? It's MaceValor here. Now, I have a very interesting question for myself that hopefully you can answer for me. I've been watching a bunch of your videos. I'm a big fan since you were like at 100 subscribers. I've been around since the beginning. And I just never understood something when it came to magic, finance, all that stuff. Uh, Basically, recently, I saw a video you talking about Dragon's Maze that you posted up a few months ago. And it got me thinking, as things currently stand, as the market currently stands, you have a booster box of Dragon's Maze. And we know that the contents within that have a relatively low value. Even if you've got amazing pulls, based on odds and all this other shit. From a consumer standpoint is where I'm coming from with everything, which is why I was hoping you can give me a financial side. I went on Google and I was looking at, well, how much are these going for? If Dragon's Maze is so shitty as everyone's saying, how come I'm finding listings? These aren't sold listings; these are just a quick Google search. But how come I'm finding listings for this at like $80+? And then there are some places I'm seeing it for as low as 30, but it's also written that they are repacked for whatever reason. But what I'm asking is how is the cost of a booster box dictated? I understand there's a lot of ins and outs that go with it, like limited availability because of no more print runs on it. I understand to a degree a lot of the factors, but when it all boils down, using Dragon's Maze as a prime example, how could something like Dragon's Maze, where if someone were to invest in it in the current market, it's going to have a very low return rate if they were to like crack packs or anything. Like you said in your video, holding on to them is good because if one or two cards just jumped up in value, it would definitely increase the price of the booster box. That I get, but I'm all over the place. Specifically, as the market stands now, what dictates the value of a booster box? You could have a set that comes out that might have one or two cards that are worth $20 plus. Does that warrant the rest of the entire box being so high just because of the odds of pulling certain cards? Especially since we know that some rares are rarer than others, some uncommons are more uncommon than others. These are just things from a consumer standpoint, but to kind of make myself just understand it better, what is the financial reason why certain booster boxes cost way more than others? Typically with most people it's like, well, they think it's age. Oh, well, that's out of a print run, that's old, of course it's going to be worth more. Well, I guarantee you something like Lorwyn is going to maintain a very higher value over a longer period of time because of the contents within it. Now that's all subject to change if there's like things like reprints and whatnot. But for the most part, something like Lorwyn, these are sought after cards. These are cards that themselves have a great deal of value. Whereas something like Dragon's Maze, there's very few cards of value. There are cards that could be played in Dragon's Maze, yeah, sure, easily. Like in a format like Commander, there's plenty of cards that could be utilized through Dragon's Maze. But looking at it from a financial standpoint, I just don't understand how some people can try to sell a booster box that the most of it's just garbage. For most players, it's not going to really be something, as things currently stand, something that's even really worth it. Selling for $70. For the most part, it might be fair. I would probably say maybe even $60 for a box of Dragon's Maze. Just because you got your Shocklands in there, and honestly, I think Voice of Resurgence is fucking piece of fuck. Anyway, so that's just somehow that's a question that I have. I just want to know about that. Yeah, fucking MaceValor signing off.